So as a sales professional, how do you break through all of the noise, all of the information, all of the competition in a very competitive industry where when you show up as a sales professional, many of the times you're what my mentor called E pluribus unum. You're one of many. How do you break through that? How do you become the individual? Somebody that people know, like, and trust, that trusted advisor who can break through, make suggestions or recommendations, and have customers respond. Hello, my name is Dwayne Huff, founder and CEO of Influence Seminars. And in this video, I want to share the story of how whenever I was a pharmaceutical sales professional, one of the most competitive industries out there, how I was able to break through that noise, that clutter, and become a person to these people instead of a salesperson. When I started out, I had some of the best training that the industry could offer from a small, tiny pharmaceutical company. I think whenever I started, I was number 50 in the entire company of people they had hired. We only had a sales force of about 50. I think it was even lower. It might have been in the upper 30s. But they gave us some of the best sales training we'd ever experienced, primarily because they weren't going to give us a budget. If you know anything about the pharmaceutical industry, I think it was, gosh, I couldn't quote the year, but the month that I got into the industry, they had passed and activated what is known as Pharma Code. And basically, for you and me, that simply means that all of the heavy spending on golf trips and fishing trips and outings and all these expensive gifts stopped completely. And this company knew that that was going to happen. So they had to equip us to be able to sell against major competitors. Now, I was selling a drug that didn't have any scientific evidence. It was a proven product, but it was repackaged. Honestly, what I was selling was repackaged Benadryl. The only benefit to it was that you could take it you could take it twice a day, 12 hours, and it wouldn't make you sleepy like Benadryl was. But I had no evidence or science to prove that. So for, gosh, 3 to 4 months, right at the 4-month mark is when this happened, I went out and pounded the pavement. I was calling on 12 doctors, 10 to 12 doctors a day, and 6 pharmacies a day, just trying to get somebody to write this product. And I did the sales training. I did what they taught me in sales training. I went out, I sold the product, I gave it everything that I had, but nothing was taking. And eventually, I ended up having 1, 2, and then 3 people start writing the product that put me on the map and saved my career. But here's how I was able to break through that noise in that own particular situation. And I find it to be completely relevant today in the world of social media and just the barrage of information coming at us and tons of competition and people just being overwhelmed and putting the walls up. Here's how I did it. One day, on a fluke, it was an accident. My background is in music. I play the saxophone. I got my degree in music performance back in 1996. And so I was playing with a band at the time, a funk band, Earth, Wind & Fire, Commodores, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Al Green. And I just, on a fluke one day, I was looking for something to say in the office. I'd run out of everything I could say about repackaged Benadryl. And I was just looking for a conversation, right? So I remember walking into the office and talking to some of the staff and saying, hey, my band's playing tonight. You guys should come hang out and have a good time. And they said, you play in a band? And I'm like, yeah, I play in a band. What kind of music do you play? I started talking to them. Before I knew it, I had nurses, I had doctors, I had surgeons, I had people from all backgrounds in these offices coming to watch me play. Now, here was the phenomenal thing. When I would walk into this office and they would acknowledge me at best, and the doctors would be cordial at best, after this, when I walked back in their office, because I was on a rotation where I'd see them once every 2, 3, or 4 weeks, when I walked back in their office after they had that experience, they would get out of their seats, they'd come from behind the door, or they'd come down the hall saying, hey, Dwayne, that was awesome. And then a connection was made. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. Well, Dwayne, I don't play an instrument. I can't do that. What is it that you do? Do you hunt? Do you fish? Do you draw? Do you like music? Do you like art? Do you like fishing, hunting, sports? What I'm telling you is start sharing who you are with your customers on a personal level. And I can hear some people listening to this going, but Dwayne, this is business. You can't do that. I'm here to submit to you that the corporate world is jacked up. we're not doing what we should be doing. We give lip service to it. Yeah, we're going to build a relationship. Yeah, we're going to get to know our customers. They're going to trust us. Yet we're not willing to share ourselves and be genuine, transparent, and authentic. But that's the one thing that connects us to customers that nothing else can. And your competitors cannot compete with that, ever. Give you another example. Whenever the music thing wasn't working and people weren't showing up, or if they were showing up, I also took what was available to me and started sharing it openly with the people that I was calling on, my customers. So my wife and her family happened to make amazing cookies, treats, candies, and all that kind of stuff. So that during the holidays, they would make these little Oreo balls, right? Which are made of crushed Oreos, cream cheese, dipped in chocolate. Oh my God, just amazing, right? So they would make those. And also in a couple of places I went, I'm in South Louisiana, and we have a dish called gumbo. If not, Google it, you'll see it's great. But I used to go around and take this to my customers and share it with them. Let me tell you, there's nothing quicker to somebody's heart than feeding them great food and them associating you with that. In fact, years removed, I was working with a client the other day, and one of the sales professionals that we were working with, they got their budget was cut severely, and so they were having to be creative with how they were going to connect with and build relationships with customers. And this guy said, "I'm going to come out of my pocket." Now, he was in the industrial services industry, so they're big ticket items, right? But he said, "You know what I'm doing this coming holiday season? I'm going to host a dinner party with steak and with wine, and I'm inviting all of my customers, all of my best customers, to come to my house and have dinner and wine." And the next question I wanted to ask him was, "Can I come?" But I found that very impressive, and he took it upon himself because he knew what the return on that investment could be, and the connection is absolutely priceless. So I'm here to ask you today, in your industry, instead of thinking, "I can't do that, that's not right for me, that'll never work in my industry," my question is, how can you engage your customer in a way that breaks through the noise? Keep in mind, when I was in the pharmaceutical industry, I'm selling against top companies like Pfizer, like Merck, like Novartis, like Abbott Laboratories, who I'd eventually go to work for a little while, without any money, without any budget, but I was able to break through. And I remember a doctor telling me one time, he said, "Dwayne, dude," he said, "you're like a minnow in the ocean. I don't see how some shark hasn't come and just gobbled you up." And I'm like, "Thanks, doc." But he was writing my product, so I was happy, right? And so my question is how do you break through the noise? Who are you? What can you contribute? What can you give? How can you connect? Put yourself out there. Share things. Become transparent. Have a little bit of vulnerability, because guess what? The rest of the corporate world ain't doing it. They're scared of it. You don't see many people doing this right here, direct-to-camera videos on LinkedIn, because people are scared to get on video. They're scared, what are people going to think of me? What if I try that and it fails? That could sabotage my career. My friend, if you live in that type of box, it's time to reconsider and become hyper self-aware of who you are, because I'm telling you, the one thing that your competitors cannot compete with ever on any level is you. And the more of you share with your customers, the more they become invested in who you are, and the less likely your competition is going to be able to come in and steal what you've worked so hard. Trust me, I did it in my sales career for 14 years. I still do it in my business, and I wanted to share this story with you so that I could connect with you, so that we can help each other to succeed and grow together. But I wanted to share that the quickest way I've seen across industries since I've been in my company training, I see the best of the best do the same thing. They connect with their customers in a real way. And maybe it's not something that you give to them or bring them into. Maybe it's something that you get involved with that they love. Maybe their kids are in sports and you go to watch a game, But spend a moment making a list. What is it that you can contribute? What is it you can give? What is it that you can share? Even if you're hesitant to do it at first because it's not professional, right? The world is becoming more transparent, more authentic, and people trust people more now than they ever have. People don't do business with business, they do business with people. And you are that people. So be the best you are, share it with your customers, make that connection, and you'll break through the noise, and your competitors will not be able to compete with that. So until we talk again, have a great day. If you have any questions, or if I can be of service in any way, jump over to influenceseminars.com, reach out to me. I'm glad to serve and glad to help. And stay tuned, more great content coming your way.